Doesn't have to be 100% agree. It's kind of the whole point. I find it very ironic, if it wasn't so sad, that I know, like Mayor Woolley, you mentioned a few, how we have separate representations with the state reps and things like that. And a lot of the council members agreed, but we don't have full representation on our own city council. So I find that to be quite ironic. Thank you.
Chairman,
Councilwoman.
I just wanted to say thanks for sending in your resume, and I thought I did talk to you in the first round.
Talking about for Ms. Daniels' spot, but not for the most recent spot.
Okay.
Talking about 3 or 4 minutes.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, just keeping the rules. Don't want to have this back and forth. So any further discussion on item 7.19? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Brandana?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
No.
Ms. Rose?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Ms. Winton?
No.
Mr. Geis?
No. Motion fails 3-3. Item 7.20 is a motion to nominate and appoint blank to fill the vacant position on the Taylor City Council per section 4.5 of the Taylor City Charter. Is there any nominations? Hearing none, we'll go to open business. Is there any open business from the elected officials?
Chairman?
Councilwoman.
Yes, I wanted to talk about the ethics ordinance. And I just wondered, like, I looked through the ordinance and I saw what the employees are to do, and I wasn't sure what council people or elected officials were to do. So I had submitted to everyone that a potential then business associate of the city had purchased my lunch, and I didn't know that, and they left. So I didn't know that, and it was a nice gesture. But I don't know if it was $50, it was lunch, so I don't think so. But I just wanted to know here, what is the process for us to report this? Are we reporting it to each other so we know? Are we reporting it to the clerk? Are we reporting it at all? What are we doing? And wondered if anybody had any thoughts.
Chairman, I think if it doesn't exceed, isn't it $50 that wouldn't need to be reported? I think it's a little cumbersome to report a lunch.
Mr. Plato?
To the chair, I think under the ethics ordinance, you could accept up to $150 in any one calendar year. So it's good to keep track of that. It's good to let everybody know that you had that, but it would be awfully cumbersome to have every time a lunch is purchased to report that. You have to rely upon your good judgment of whether somebody's giving you gifts or not.
Right, I understand. I just wondered what we were doing as a group, or what we were thinking about that. If it happened and it was over 150, what should we do? So should we give it back, or should we?
Yeah, well, if it's over 150, that's where you gotta police yourself.
I know that
and
food is expensive, but I don't think it was under 50. It was under 50.
But if it becomes, 2 or 3 times or whatever, you just have to tell that person, don't do it again. In terms of, we had talked about, there is a new form on the state level that was just approved. Not certain if it's something that we want to look at, or the ethics, now that we have it situated, how documentation would go, but honestly, we don't have a form. I appreciate this note. I don't know, that this is the proper form or function, but it certainly raises the question on how do you keep track?
Yeah, through the chair, what I would do is the next time you see them, just explain that, there's procedures and policies in place, because I've had to have that talk with them as well, because again, you're sitting there having, I was having lunch or dinner at that same restaurant, and the next thing you know, they come up and says your meal was taken care of, and it was just me and Amy having, it didn't exceed, but again, hey, you can't do that, and stuff, so.
I think it was just a kind gesture.
It was.
He's the nicest,
He is.
one of the nicest people, so I just wanted to ask everyone, or remind everyone that we are held to this standard as well, and, you know, so now we know what we should do.
Through the chair.
Councilman?
And I understand how that happened from that individual. But when I go out somewhere, I try to get the waitress and I pay for everybody's. And then I don't have to worry about it.
For the whole restaurant?
Huh?
What do you mean?
In our group,
Oh, in your group?
yeah.
Well, it took me by surprise, you know, I was
Yeah,
like, huh.
and that happens, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
It's never happened with me, I don't think he picked up on
I
it.
know, right, where do you go and
We have a lot more money.
Another recommendation is when you do see him, make sure you tell your waitress to not let him pay your
right, exactly.
You know.
Or if you see Charlie, tell him he's fine.
Give him my credit card number.
Through the chair, if I could answer that question directly, I'm looking at the ethics ordinance. There is an exception for food items having a monetary value of $50 or less per person on a single calendar day that are to be consumed within 48 hours of purchase, and payments for such donations are made directly to the food vendor. So Councilwoman Brandana's lunch would appear to fall within that, clearly fall within that exception.
Thank you. Just want to throw it out there.
Chairman,
Councilwoman?
since we're speaking on the ethics ordinance, when we voted on that last time, there was some discussion that Corporation Counsel was going to be talking to the HR in regards to adding some whistleblower protection or coming up with something for the employees. Has there been any forward movement in regards to that?
I have spoken with the HR director, who I think is coming forward, and he does have plans to include, he's actually going to put together a notebook for employees that will include that amongst the ethics ordinance. Mr. Hopper is coming forward.
Mr. Hopper? Not sure, did you hear the question out in the atrium?
I did, I heard about the policy for the ethics.
Yes.
Yes, it's not done yet. We recently went to a conference, as you approved, and they gave us some information. It's something that we're working on, and it will be part of the onboarding process when we get it started.
Chairman?
Councilwoman?
To Mr. Hopper, is there a form in HR? How do the employees report this to you?
They come in and see me personally.
Okay.
When they come in, everybody knows our door's open. They're welcome at any time, and we've had people that take advantage of that so far. So I think it's working so far, but we're always open to suggestions. But if anybody has an issue, they're more than welcome to come talk to us anytime, or me specifically anytime.
Since we have Mr. Hopper here, any questions for Mr. Hopper? All right, any further open business from the council?
Through the chair.
Councilman?
I just want to take this time to to let everybody know that Recoil did a raffle for us over at their store on E-Course, raised $2,200 for the museum, and they're in the process of doing it for the animal shelter. They don't have to do this. This is a great thing, so a lot of people don't like the idea that Recoil, but sorry, it's legal, and it's a great thing that they're doing.
Mr. Chair, to add to that, Sue and everybody over there, they're always reaching out to me and asking which city, and they've almost got like a revolving door on different, the police, the fire, the animal shelter, the Veterans Museum, and I greatly appreciate what they do for us. And it's, it allows us to buy a lot of things for the animals. It helps the Veterans Museum. The police and fire use it for different things, equipment and stuff. So I agree. I greatly appreciate what they do for us.
Chairman?
Councilwoman?
I have a few items. One, on that same note, I think Walmart did their grand
Yes.
reopening, and I know there were a few of you that went, but they also did the same. I think they gave money to
Yeah.
the police department,
They
the
gave-
VFW, I believe.
Taylor High School Band, they gave
The high school
$1,000.
band. Yeah, so commend them on that, and the store is redone, I think, on the end.
So they said they added part to I had to kind of take off, so I didn't get a chance to but they added on to the building, and I think it has to do with the pickup, the online delivery. So, yeah, they had a really nice.
Yeah, it looked like a
grand-
really
They had, like,
nice.
so they had the band.
Couldn't
out
make
there.
it, but, it looked like a nice celebration. And then also, I hope this is true, that always you see it online, you don't really know, but that Atlas Oil was like helping in the hurricane efforts, so I thought that was cool. The Recreation Department, Chelsea Park, they put down all new mulch. It looks really, really nice.
Through the chair, they also did Boardman Park as well, and they're doing, we're actually demoing a piece of equipment that is very,
Yeah, Guido was saying
very cool.
something, but I got compliments from people in the neighborhood on how nice the park looks, so kudos to them. And then, I don't wanna steal your thunder if you're gonna
No,
announce this,
go
but I
ahead.
know there's an event Saturday for the animal shelter. I think it's 12 to 5 is Paws and Pumpkins. It's like a vendor show, I think. And then there's a hair band concert at 6:30, so there's tickets online. Go to the Facebook page and, find those there, but supporting the animal shelter at the Sheridan Pavilion. There's a city stuff going on too?
so through the chair, WLLZ and Doug Podell reached out to our animal shelter to kind of help, they just kind of picked our Taylor Animal Shelter to help raise, and Doug Podell has been a mainstay in Detroit radio for as long as I can remember. So he was one of the originals at WLLZ back in the old days, so, I'm gonna try to get over there and check some of it
Yeah.
out, and,
Sounds like a really cool event.
so, yeah, definitely, should be a good event, hopefully, and the weather looks like it's gonna be pretty good, but either way, it's gonna be under the pavilion, so rain or shine, it's
Nice.
gonna be good to go.
Good. And one other, this is a much harder one, but I know we were all aware of a very tragic incident that happened, and kudos to the police department, because I know that's a lot to deal with, so, I mean, for us just hearing about it, but to actually have to go there, so, I know you said that there's support that was brought in for